What is up? And thank you for joining me for another race report. Today for a crazy good ride, which is a gravel ride, 126K, and really steep climbs, really steep, really gnarly terrain, and it was a crazy good ride, actually. High highs and low lows. There's a lot to cover today. I'll try to make it snappy. So, what were the highlights? Highlights were I got a new bike. And it was freaking amazing. Like, I will say the potential of the bike is unbelievable. Like, it took me a little bit of time to realize just how capable the bike is. Front center is like 2.5 centimeters longer than my previous bike. Way bigger tire clearance. I was running mountain bike tires today and loved every moment of that. Mostly coming up in the downsides. There is a downside to one of the tires. And just confidence inspiring. Unbelievable. Like, what people say about mountain bike tires, oh my god. It's true. Like, you're just in so much more control, and that's the part that I think is the understated part of the whole equation. People talk about mountain bike tires being faster on gravel. They are, apparently. I don't know. Ask somebody else. Ask Dylan Johnson. But the control that you have and the confidence that you have hitting stuff that is really technical, really rocky, just being able to roll over so much more of the terrain compared to the 40s that I had before, which is really like, they're talking about road tires being 40 now. So yeah, I mean, the technology's moved on. So the bike was incredibly confidence inspiring, and I loved it. The build it's a success. I'm just stoked. There's only one downside about the build, which I'll get to, but okay, so what else was awesome? The course, amazing. My buddy Dustin had his first gravel ride event ever. For all you amateurs out there that think this shit's intimidating, kind of is, but it was like great for him. He's been putting in the volume, trying to do, bigger weeks. He's not a racer. He's just a guy, that I convinced at the last second to get into the ride, and I'm super proud of himself. He did the very good ride, which is the slightly shorter version, and he had an awesome day. So just wanted to put that out there that these events are not just for racers. So what else? Okay, so why don't we hit the drama? So the drama was real, though, like in some of these mechanicals. I will say, as good as the bike was, it was built very late, just the day before the race, and that wasn't the plan whatsoever. But, I had the bike ready, and I wasn't just going to leave it at home. I wasn't going to ride the old one. I was going to ride the new one. So I knew what I was getting into, that there'd probably be creaks and movements, and I found out all the things. So turns out the valve wasn't fully tightened from the shop. That can just happen, and it was doing a slow leak throughout the race. So by Vetter Climb, which is really a crazy steep climb, it's the big climb of the crazy good ride route, 90 kilometers into the ride, I just had to stop. It was maybe not 90, it was probably 70 actually at that point. I just had to stop. I was like, I'd lost so much air in the rear that I was no longer rolling efficiently, and like I was losing places, and I just had to get it fixed. So but it was very gradual, obviously 70 kilometers in. So I got that done when a group of mountain bikers noticed it, and they pulled over and helped me. So thank you, mountain bikers. You're a sweet community. I really appreciate you. And there was like a couple people that stopped. One guy in particular, the other guy went on, but it took a while to figure out that it was the valve, and I lost a bunch of time. I was with Owen Vermeulen. Shout out Owen Vermeulen. Rode in from frickin' Vancouver to Chilliwack, did the crazy good ride route, and rode home today. So you'll see that on Strava. You're a mental man. I was holding on to Owen's training pace, so whatever that means. Owen's a couple categories higher than I am when it comes to the echelon of these things. So I was pretty stoked to be on his wheel, and I lost him there, as well as Michaela, who came second in the women's field. amazing. Can't believe you came second again. I saw you at BWR, and it was an amazing time there too. So hope we get to find each other at more of these events. It seems like we're pretty close in ability, which is pretty amazing. And yeah, you're definitely out climbing me right now. So I got some work to do. But so lost air, lost a lot of time. Finally got up better and started sending it. Like these, especially the front wheel, the front tire, the Race King, it is everything people talk about. Holy smokes, that tire is unbelievable. Now I'll get into the downside of the build. Dylan Johnson claims that his frame is unmodified, yada yada, but that rear with the same tire, same frame, it doesn't fit. Yes, I know Dylan Johnson's running the 2.0 breed, but they did not change the tire clearance on that bike. It is the same mold. They only changed UDH for you tech nerds out there, as well as integrated cables. So it is the same tire clearance. Dylan Johnson's got a 2.2 Race King in the back. I can't get it in there. It doesn't fit. And even so I ran a 2.1 Thunderbird, which is supposed to be kind of the next best thing. And I was sending it with all the confidence of the Race King in the front, and that Thunderbird double punctured. And I didn't know it double punctured, so it took me forever again to figure it out. I double plugged it in one place. It was still freaking leaking. My buddy Kai by this point had found me on the side of the road. My teammate, kudos Kai for helping me. So I double plugged it, and then luckily another guy, Kevin I believe, stopped as well, and I had a freaking pit crew here helping me with my tire. Man, people are awesome. And just this microscopic little cut, and it turns out, so I talked to the winner after the race, and I kind of made a joke because he had an interview at the end with everybody listening, and I said, hey, the question that nobody asked you is, what tires are you running, bro? And he laughed, because apparently he is sponsored by Schwalbe, who makes the Thunderbird. And what he said is that the Thunderbird is not designed for any bike that doesn't have suspension, which is why it's so thin. And that makes sense. So it's like short track mountain biking, high, fastest rolling resistance possible, but it's meant to have an additional layer of suspension, and it doesn't have the puncture protection. So lots of people kind of having mixed opinions about the Thunderbird. I will be honest, I'll never run them again after that. It was, I don't know, I like with the Race King in the front, you just get confident. Like it is so much grip, there's so much stability. I was gapping people, like making up time. Like usually the descents and the technical stuff is a little bit of a like I feel like a weakness of mine, but I think it's been the bike. Like I actually think that the bike has just held me back in that confidence. I'm only running 40s. It's like a different dimension when you have mountain bike tires on. The amount of confidence that I felt, I didn't see anyone, I know Owen's going to say something, but I honestly didn't see anyone descending the way that I felt like I could. And that's just how I felt. And I had 36 bars, felt totally fine. So, double flatted, got that fixed. At this point, race is over in terms of like a result, and I never came in for a result. I knew that riding this race on this bike for the very first time, what can I expect? It's meant to be really a shakeout ride. My big goal is Unbound. I needed to put it through its paces. I needed to figure out, okay, what's the weaknesses? I need to have a long day on this bike and at max intensity, most difficult terrains, totally sending it. And then the next thing happened, which is my wheel started tinging, and like it wasn't like a brake rotor tinging, which sometimes you get when your brake rotors are rubbing. I think it was the spokes, and man, it was really loud, and like to the point where again I had to stop, inspect the bike, and just like kudos to Kai, what a legend. He's just like putting up with all my weird bike problems on the side of the road. He stuck with me. I just kept riding it. In the end, the tinging kind of went away. So I do think it's like maybe the spokes are just a little bit like in the wrong alignment and just needs to have some attention paid. But that was certainly disconcerting. And highlight. So I was super strong by the end still, and it felt great to be able to have that effort up Vetter. Vetter was too steep. I will say that I probably wish, I'm probably going to have two setups, like one climbing setup and one like flat, unbound kind of setup with a bigger chainring. BC climbing is no joke. Like, just get the easiest gears. I'm not that strong. Probably to a lot of people, I think, you know, I'm really strong, but I'm not that strong. And I think you got to be like elite to be running big chain rings in BC because, yeah, the climbs are just intense. So definitely considering getting a smaller set of chain rings. Got the 4831s, and there is a 4630 available. Not that big of a difference, but yeah, that a little bit, it helps. A little bit of cadence. Okay, really strong, and I think I was really strong because my fueling is, first of all, my training's been awesome for this style of event. Last week, if you heard my race report, I'm not really trained up for explosive efforts, but the long efforts, back and forth to Langley, I'm really trained for that. So I felt really strong by the end, and even pulling my buddy Kai at the end, I did have a little bit of cramping issues, so I got to look at the electrolyte thing. But outside of the little, the cramps that I was experiencing, I honestly, I almost felt like if I just kept fueling and kept, no cramps, I honestly almost could have done that event again. That's like, that felt nuts. Like I still had legs. I still could have pushed. I was still getting up into higher heart rate zones, and still I didn't fade. So yeah, super good signs for Unbound, because Unbound's literally double the distance, more, but less climbing. And yeah, it's a really good sign. So I think the engine's good, and I ingested a ton of carb. So a couple caveats, but I got in 690 grams in the event, and I ran out with an hour to go. So that's pretty good. I obviously can up that ratio. So that was good for 125 grams an hour. Now, I say that with a bit of a caveat because I did stop a lot for all those mechanicals, but race time's 5.5 hours on the road, 690 grams of carbs over that amount of time. So fueling super, super strong, and running out early. But the caveat is, yeah, I did stop, and sometimes that, helps to digest. So we'll see. It's not a true test, but I definitely think at least 125 grams an hour is what I can do realistically, and maybe up to 150. That's mental. That is a lot of carbohydrate, and I was not having problems with it. Kudos to the precision hydration stuff. It's actually so good. And they have a little top tube gel thing that you'll see on my bike. Excellent. Worked super nice. I was able to pack in 230 grams of carbs in that little top tube thing, and I'm definitely gonna hit precision up for another couple of the tubes that you actually fill up. The whole strider, I only need one, but yeah, at each aid station, if I can get 230 grams of carb into that one of those, it's so accessible. It's really easy to take off the bike, and then, yeah, it's just so easy. It's like right there, actually a little arrow, like it's right behind the stem. So yeah, it's a really slick system. That was one of the highlights of the build. And what else? We've covered a lot. We've covered a lot together. Feeling good. It was a hard day. Not a day for a result. But like I said, I have to curb my expectations with the new build. So lots of good signs. Definitely want to do a full bike check on the build and go through my thought processes. For sure, there's a lot borrowed from Dylan Johnson, but there's also touches that I've put onto it that were right for me, and pretty happy with it. Everything but that dang Race King. Man, Race Kings. If your bike can fit Race Kings, you put that tire in. Obviously not if there's a ton of pavement. But for a course like this where it's 85% gravel, it was cheating out there. Just so nice. yeah, like that tire is inspiring. So, got to figure out a rear tire. If you made it this far, put your favorite bigger tire in the chat, and I'd love to know what your preference is for running big tires. I need a maximum of a 2.1 in the rear, something that won't flat at Unbound, and decent rolling resistance would be nice. I don't really need any grip. I was kind of thinking that after talking to my buddy Cody, who won the event, I call him my buddy because I just made some jokes with him, but he seems to think that the G1 RS at a 50 mil, I've heard good things about that tire, so it doesn't seem like it has a ton of grip, but for that event might be the right choice. So Thunderbird's coming off for sure. I'm setting it way too hard with that Race King in the front, and I don't think the Thunderbird's up to it. I was like demolishing through rocks. I was like I don't know, I was floating. But yeah, the Race King just can't, or sorry, the Thunderbird just couldn't handle the impacts as it went through. But the Race King was just, yeah, it was up to it. So, all right, that's the end of the race report, I'd say. Thanks for listening. 16 minutes in. That's a good race report. It's getting dark. Getting my way home. Thanks, Connie. Thanks, Harlow, for letting me have these adventures. This is a busy time of year, and all the races seem to be in spring for some reason. So, pretty stoked. Really good signs for Unbound. It's going to be at the end of the month, so look forward to some race reports, training reports. Got lots of changes to kind of tweak coming into the race, and really excited. So, peace. Have a good one. Talk soon.